Well, good morning, everyone. It's Friday, March 7th, and boy, isn't there a lot going on. How is everybody today? Let's get a bunch of people piled in here. So, if you are on TikTok, put a note in the chat. Let me know where you're located so we can say hello. All righty. So it looks like, hold on one second here. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so King's Girl, 1974 is here from Colorado. I lived in Colorado for a number of years. I was in Winter Park and then moved down to Highlands Ranch. Beautiful area, absolutely beautiful. If you are on X, YouTube, Rumble, or Facebook, send us a note. Let us know where you are located so we can say hello. So we've got, oh gosh, so much to go over this morning. Let's see here. Well, tell me how everybody's feeling on this Friday morning. What do you have planned for the weekend? What's going on? All righty, so let's see. We have Rosie from Utah on TikTok. Welcome, Rosie, who is one of our subscribers. Rhonda's here. Good morning, Rhonda. If you're on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. Let's get a bunch of people piled in here. And again, if you are on TikTok, we do have subscriptions now. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of different things with the subscribers, private lives, events. And if you use the highest level subscriber and you're interested in coming on the show, we'll be happy to bring you on. So give it a try. Let us know what you think. 17 winning, 1776 winning all weekend. Boy, isn't that the truth? Rhonda, thank you for the heart me. So we're waiting for Dave and Alex. I think they're going to show up today. We'll see. But yeah, so there, as everybody saw yesterday, President Trump instituted a strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's a significant move in the right direction. And I don't know how many of you saw my daily dispatch this morning, but Monopoly, the board game, has now eliminated cash from their new version of the game. And you have to download an app. It's kind of interesting. I think it was very interesting that came out on the same day that the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve was created. Jack Barber is here. It said it's 41 degrees from Ohio over on YouTube. Boy, that's chilly, Jack. After living in Colorado for a number of years, I don't miss the cold, that's for sure. It's chilly here when it's 60, 62 degrees here in California. So I don't know. I am not one of the, I'm just not a cold weather person. But spring is here, and apparently daylight savings is Sunday, and President Trump has been talking a lot about, this getting rid of daylight savings and asking people whether they want an extra day on, or an extra hour in the evening or in the morning. So I would be curious to see what everybody here thinks, whether we want the hour in the morning or in the evening. I'm an early morning guy, so I vote for early mornings, but that's just me. Hey, Captain Graybeard's here. Hey, Captain. Thank you for the heart me. So let's see. Do we have Alex here? Let me see here. Not yet. It doesn't look like. So anyway, this Sunday is supposed to be the switch for the time. And as I said, President Trump has been talking about it the last couple of days. And I'm interested to see what everybody here thinks. So let's do a survey. If you'd like to have the extra hour in the morning, put a 1. If you'd like to see the extra hour in the evening, put a 2. So 1 for morning, 2 for evening. Let's see what everybody's thinking about that. So we have Rosie, a subscriber, 2. Interesting. Captain Graybeard, 2. John Tilly, 2. King's Girl, 1974, 1. Rhonda, 1. Gray Lady, 59, 2. Glenn Duncan, 2. Nina Turner, Nina T, 2. Boy, there's a lot of 2s. Oh, Alex is here. Let's see. Let's see if we can get Alex on here. Hold on, everybody. I'm going to bring Alex up. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
We just did I had a friend of mine who used to have that one. It cracked me up. I just did a quick survey. Hey, good morning, Lisa Maria. I just did. What's that?
I've been in here for a little while.
Oh, you have? Oh, okay. I didn't see it. Let's see. I think we got Mega Dave here too. There we go. All right. So let's bring Dave on. Lisa Maria said she loves your cup, Alex.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Mega Dave.
Morning, dude.
Change the lighting a little bit here. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's change our.
What do you guys change? Oh, there we go. Got to have the glasses on. So no hat today, Dave.
Nope, changing things up.
Wow. Slow down, would you?
Mr. Dapper Dan.
Alex
He
got rid
changed
of
it up,
it.
and here I am.
So I gotta get rid of my hat.
Tank top.
Yeah. Sun's out. Sun's out. Poo-poo's out.
Yeah, there we go. There we
That's
go.
right.
So King's Girl 1974 said, good morning, guys. Hannah C. said, good morning, guys. So I was talking about the time change with Alex and before you guys came on, and I did a quick survey of 1 being, do you want the extra hour in the morning? And 2, do you want the extra hour in the evening? As President Trump has been bringing it up a lot the last couple of days. What do you guys prefer?
Well, and he said it's 50-50 down the middle. And so which half do you make happy? Dave's probably going to say he wants that extra hour in the morning because farmers get up early.
That's what I vote for. I vote for mornings.
Right. I mean, you know, picking your kids up from school in the dark. I don't know.
I don't even.
I'm undecided. Just stop. I don't care what it is. It throws off our circadian rhythm. It jacks. But anyway.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree.
As a farmer, I'll take both. I'll take 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So, Alex, yesterday we had the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve created, and I did not hear anything on the Ripple case. Did you?
I did not. They met behind closed doors, and I have not seen hide nor hair. Now, to be fair, I overslept this morning, so that's why you get tank top, workout, Alex, instead of ready.
That's all right. As long as you're here, that's all that matters. So 17 Hockey Dad said, if it's split and we have a choice to do a half hour each direction, problem solved. Very good solution. I wonder if that would work. Spec Ops 01 said, I'm back. Hey, Spec Ops, glad you're here. Rex Lindsley said, split the time by half an hour and leave it alone. Exactly. So Virgo 47 is here. Good morning, Virgo. You're not late. We're just getting started here, so no big deal. Hannah C sent a whole bunch of tiny dinies. Thank you, Hannah C. So again, if you're on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. We do have subscriptions now on TikTok, and you can subscribe on a lower level or a higher level. There's a bunch of things we're going to be doing with subscribers. It's going to be fun. So go ahead and subscribe if you can. And if you want to contribute to our Tiny Diny daily goal, we would love it. Thank you. So Dave, we had, I think Alex is still on a phone call. So we had this Strategic Bitcoin Reserve created yesterday. We haven't heard anything on the Ripple case. And I find it interesting that the Monopoly game came out yesterday and announced that they won't be having cash anymore. Interesting, right?
Even Monopoly knows which way it's going, right?
Yeah, exactly. Misty, thank you for the gifts. It's appreciated. So let's jump into some of the recap from this morning. So apparently LA County is suing Southern California Edison due to the fires. And I never use the word wildfires because in my opinion, they weren't wildfires. They were set specifically for a specific objective. And Karen Bass going to Ghana 2 days before, knowing full well probably what was going to happen, she's being brought under the spotlight. And as we spoke about yesterday with Nicole Shanahan spending millions of dollars to recall her, I find that very interesting that this lawsuit's coming out now. What do you guys think?
Sorry, I was on the phone. I had a nurse call for mom.
Oh, okay.
I'm back.
Okay.
What was the question?
So we're talking about LA County suing Southern California Edison over the fires. And yesterday, Nicole Shanahan talking about spending millions of dollars to recall her. What do you guys make of that?
Yeah. Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Killed 17 and destroyed 9,400 buildings.
Was it that many?
Must be for the lack of preparation, correct?
Wow, it was that many. I didn't realize it was that many.
Yep, that's what it says on this New York Times brochure. It's 17 dead and 9,400 buildings destroyed.
Wow.
LA County.
Wow.
State Farm ain't there. Insurance giant not budgeting to help fire victims avoid the list to collect personal property payouts.
Interesting.
Yeah. California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara has released a list of insurance companies that have agreed to give fire victims over 75% of coverage without making the list of their belongings. State Farm is not one of them.
Huh. Interesting. Choose Your Poison is here. Good morning, Choose Your Poison.
Along that point, everybody listening, it's a good idea to take your handy dandy little phone, and it takes you 5 minutes. Literally hit record, walk through your house, and just record each room, the furniture, the electronics. If you happen to have a pew cabinet, whatever the case may be, walk through the garage, the shop, things that you wouldn't think that you might think of that you thought of. And then you got that little video. There's date and timestamps on that video that verify, hey, this is what I had, and hold them accountable.
Very good point. Very good point. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. So apparently now, General Mike Flynn is on TikTok.
What?
Yes, I just followed him this morning, and I sent him a message inviting him on the show.
What?
We'll see whether it happens or not. Yeah, it was news to me as of this morning. So General Flynn, if you see this, we'd love to have you on. Would love to have you on. So give me a shout and let me know if you're up for it.
And we promise to behave and not make you do the YMCA Trump shuffle.
Yeah, exactly. Donna Parker, one of our subscribers, is here. Good morning, Donna. Charlie is here. Good morning, Charlie. Lisa Maria said, awesome. I'm not sure what she's referring to, but I'm thinking probably Michael Flynn. So we'll see. I don't know. I would love to have.
Talking about my cup.
Oh, could be. Yeah. Very much so. So, oh, hey, 80 Deuce Jeff is here. Welcome, Deuce. Glad you could make it. So, yesterday, there was more news. We know about the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. We know about the XRP legal battle that we haven't heard yet. But yesterday, there was a report that came out that China is quietly priming a $1.4 trillion Bitcoin price boom. Now, I'm not sure what to make of that other than if we're the first in, as far as a country, to have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, what does that do if China decides to join? Will that pump the price? Will it? I don't know what to expect from that. And then Texas, which apparently is the 8th largest economy in the world, they've already created a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I don't know what all that means, but I find it interesting that those points were coming out rapid fire yesterday. What do you guys think?
In my mind, it tells you kind of the direction, correct?
That's what I'm thinking.
Bitcoin's at 87,000 this morning, dropping down 20% $2,300. So now's the time to buy.
Yeah, no question. No question.
Get in on the dips.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Choose Your Poison just sent a whole bunch of tiny dinies. Thank you, Choose Your Poison. Holly said, thank you, Sam, Alex, and Dave, for all your hard work. Thank you for being here. Without you guys, it doesn't mean anything to us. So we're grateful that you're here. So if you're on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. You can contribute to our daily goal. You can become a subscriber. There's lots of good things happening over here. Spec Ops said, which do you prefer, XRP or XLM, and why? Alex, maybe you want to take that question?
I will answer that question in 1 second. The answer to Strategic Reserve, Bitcoin Reserve, list of 6 countries that make BTC their national reserve asset: El Salvador, United States, using the Bitcoin Act, Brazil, Poland, Russia, Texas.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Texas is its own little country. And I can say that because I grew up there.
Wait, let me. Tranny2 said, hold on one second. Tranny2 said, I can't wrap my brain around Bitcoin. I need help understanding. Tranny2, go to samshalhoub.com. You can book an appointment directly with me and I'll walk you through the process. Christy B is here, one of our subscribers. Good morning, Christy. Go ahead, Alex.
Back to the question about which one. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just going to give you some things that I've come to understand over the years. So you need to spend the time and the due diligence to dig into each of your own assets or investments or whatever you want to call them, and understand what they are, what their functionality is. There's a lot of noise out here about crypto. There's meme coins, there's Dogecoin, there's Trump coin, there's this coin, meme coin. Like, what is the utility of the coin? What functionality does it have? What purpose does it serve? There is a standard, the ISO standard. ISO has been around for a long time. It is a set of rules and kind of, this is the playground that we're going to play on, and everybody plays by these rules, right? And so the ISO 22022 coins that are ISO compliant are the ones that you're going to find probably have a high utilization on the utility side. For example, XRP being the way that you can do some transactions internationally with very, very, very minimal fees to that. So I don't have a preference over one or the other that I would state in a public manner. Yes, I'm a fan of most of the coins that have any kind of utility, and I probably have just a little bit in each one of them, because you don't know, one could go to the moon, everybody to the moon. So I think that 40% in a Bitcoin, at least that amount in XRP, and then the rest is kind of up to the individual as to where they feel comfortable making that investment.
Choose Your Poison just asked a question, and I'm going to explain this. She said, how much do you need to invest in Bitcoin the first time? Well, again, this isn't financial advice, but a lot of people ask me, well, I can't afford to buy a Bitcoin, $87,000. Well, you don't have to. The way Bitcoin is broken down is one coin is comprised of 100 million, what they call Satoshis, right? So you could literally buy $10 or $20 at a time. That's how I started. I started with just a little bit every week, $10, $20. And now, as I've been doing this for years, that number grows, significantly. So
and that's the same for most coins, Sam. You have the ability to simply put in the amount that you want.
Yeah.
And like Sam said, if you can afford $5 a week, $25 a paycheck, whatever that looks like, and it's not a get rich quick, guys. It's a set it and forget it. Because if you'd have got in 10 years ago, in 2013, if you'd have put $100 into Bitcoin, it would today be worth almost 100,000, right? So in 10 years, has your 401k done that?
good point. Choose Your Poison. You can go to samshalhoub.com and book an appointment with me, and I'll walk you through it. And we can discuss it on the call. So, oh, that was, well, thank you, Onesie. She said, your patience is truly commendable. Well, thank you.
Don't have to choose your poison. You don't have to put in every week. You put in monthly, buy one time and just sit on it. Whatever you're comfortable with. There is no spoken or unspoken rule about this is what you should do. There are people with opinions, and opinions are like something else. Everybody's got one. So you decide what's best for you.
User Judy said exactly how I got some slowly. Exactly. And then 80 Deuce Jeff said, that's how I buy. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's a slow roll, and it's a long-term investment, in my opinion. But again, those are just my opinion.
It's just a filter, Charlie.
Captain Graybeard said, learn to use your wallet before anything else. And that's another good point, Captain Graybeard. Well, I advise people that once they get over $1,000 in Bitcoin, then you move it to what's called a cold wallet. And that looks like a tiny thumb drive that's built specifically for Bitcoin. And the principle behind it is it's like having a gold bar, a silver bar. You can physically hold it in your hand, and nobody's going to get it from you unless they physically take that device. So great point, Captain Graybeard. Donna Parker, one of our subscribers, said, do you buy from a certain company? Yes. I have an agreement with Swan Bitcoin. That's who I've used for, well, years now. And if you go through me and through Swan, then they'll give you some Bitcoin on your first purchase, irrespective of how much you buy. So, all right, guys, let's dig deeper here. We have got, let's see what this one is. Oh, so the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit sided with X and other opponents, arguing that the key demands imposed by the state of California were, in fact, unconstitutional. Now, are we going to start seeing more exposure of free speech, or I should say the lack thereof of free speech? I personally think that's the direction that we're going. But what do you guys think?
Pretty huge win for the X. Pretty huge.
Oh, absolutely. And coming off the last administration, that's what that's all about, to expose it.
Well, you know,
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when 47 sat down with Zuckerberg to whatever he said to make that U-turn 100%. Like, how about the Zelensky flip-flop? Sam, what's? I'd love to hear your opinion, sir.
Well, I personally believe it's all theater. I believe that it's designed specifically to wake people up. How can you have a guy that's got billions of dollars in his personal accounts, own houses all over the place, come in and say, we need more money? I mean, it's so obvious. It's so in your face. It's kind of like the exposure from USAID, where you have, $40 million going to condom purchases in Afghanistan or whatever they were. They're so far out of the realm of reality that, if nothing else, it's got to shock people. At least that's my opinion at this point.
Yep, absolutely.
All righty. So let's see here. We have next up.
Today's a good Trump demanded that the mayor of DC clean up the homeless camps. Today, the homeless encampments are getting cleared out.
Gee, what a surprise. Hey, did you guys see when Newsom was on Charlie Kirk's show, and Charlie Kirk specifically asked him, why did you clean up San Francisco when Xi Jinping came in and you can't keep it clean? And Newsom's response was, well, that was the weaponization of what took place in San Francisco. I'm the governor of California, not the mayor of San Francisco. Just double talked left and right. Charlie Kirk kept pressing him on it, and Newsom had no good answer.
Yeah, majority of that interview, he laughed his way out of the question, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he's all that bright, personally. I really don't.
Good talker.
Yeah, and he looks the part. But other than that, he ain't got a whole lot going on for him, in my opinion.
Have you ever seen him dance?
No, I haven't. Was this when, during the pandemic, when he went to dinner with no mask and told everybody else that they have to wear masks? Was he dancing that night? I wonder. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
like Elaine after Seinfeld.
Yeah,
Worse.
exactly. So, hey, everybody on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Rumble, send us a message in the chat. Give us the positive affirmation button or the thumbs up. It would be appreciated. And if you're on TikTok, double tap that screen, share this live out. If you can contribute to our daily goal, that would be great. So it looks like we are full in the exposure operation. Did you see the news about Perkins Coie getting their security clearances pulled?
I think there's going to be a lot of security clearances pulled, but yes.
And at what point do we start highlighting the Russia hoax? We that follow the other board that we talk about often have known about this for years. And now the general population is starting to see it. What's that, Dave?
Did you see Trump, like within an hour ago, said he's putting sanctions, strongly considering putting sanctions on Russia and tariffs on Russia, including banking sanctions.
Well, it's funny how Jamie Dimon doesn't seem to argue with President Trump very often anymore, does he? Neither does Mark Zuckerberg. Neither does any of the big players. Jeff Bezos. Not only are they not arguing with him, but they're contributing to his administration in ways that I never thought we'd see.
Speaking of contributing in ways that we never thought, maybe a good time to bring it up. Everybody that has followed, what we've been talking about, what's going on. Data Republican, okay? I don't know how much everybody knows about her, but kernel developer, like the math and the brain that it takes a genius to do the things that she does. If you go to datarepublican.com, she has a list of tools that you can use, the same that they're using to do what they're doing with Doge. So this is a way for us to start looking at getting involved at the local level, figuring out where money's going in the cities, in the counties, in the states, people relationships, principal offer search, bulk NGO search, charity funding search, charity graph, nonprofit financials, small dollar donations, general grant research. There's a whole list of tools all on the website. Your choice, they're there for free. There is a donate button to help support her work. I, for one, have helped support her work. No kickbacks. I'm not getting anything for bringing this up, but this is really when you start looking at how we're going to change this country. It's the grassroots side of things, and we can take the same tools that they're using to clean up waste, fraud, and abuse. And I mean, she also has a link that says, we help us build more tools like this. So, send suggestions. I'd love a tool that told me this correlation or association based off of this data, because between Grok, which you can access on X, which is an AI tool, you can type whatever you want. How do I make a green bean casserole? Grok will tell.
Okay. Yeah. So Rosie in the chat said, "Why is Newsom still governor? I thought there was a petition to remove him." There is. I don't know whether they've reached the number of signatures yet, Rosie. But again, even if we recall him again, the question is, when do we fix the voting system? Because the last time he was recalled, I don't believe for a second that he actually won the re-election or the recall election. I don't believe it for a second. So I think it's kind of a moot point until we get the voting systems figured out. Michelle Robinson, was this at the French Laundry? Yes, when he went to dinner at the French Laundry, didn't wear a mask, made everybody in California wear a mask. I mean, yeah, it was the French Laundry. That is correct.
Sorry, I had a phone call. I know I'm muted. Just saying that between Grok and the tools that Data Republican is putting out there, I'm not going to go too deep into the conversation, but there have been events around the country recently with elected individuals that were ousted or not treated in a fair manner. Constitutional, loving people. And there has been an effort to start understanding why local governments would make choices to oust constitutionally supported individuals. And these tools are freaking amazing, folks. Like, just if you just want to start playing with them, datarepublican.com. I thought that was pretty valuable to bring to your audience today, Sam.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Alex. 80 Deuce Jeff just sent a heart me. Thank you, 80. Sent several of them. Thank you so much. We have Lucky Chucky is here. Welcome, Lucky Chucky. Glad to see you this morning. So Tranny2 said, date a Republican. No, actually, Alex, why don't you type it in the chat so she gets the proper
data, D-A-T-A, Republican.com. Data, depends on whether you're a Yankee or a Southerner. Data Republican.
Excellent. Virgo 47 said, I need to get back on X. Was banned years ago when the president never went back. Well, there's a lot of things changing on all of the platforms. We are able to say more here on TikTok now in the last 6-8 months since President Trump came back or came on the platform. It's the same thing with X. It's the same thing with Facebook. I mean, Dan Scavino, President Trump are posting on Facebook. They're not getting muted, which I find is very interesting. It just tells us that we're moving towards free speech or back towards free speech again. Friendly Guy said, just type her in TikTok search. That's probably a good way to do it. I didn't know she was on TikTok too.
I'm completely enamored with this woman. Her brilliance is, but I'm a nerd. It's okay. It's all right.
So anyway, so back to the Kirk Perkins Coie situation.
Yes.
Does that Perkins Coie move us towards Hillary Clinton and the multitude of questionable actions that have taken place over the last 4 decades and the Clinton Foundation? I'm just curious. What do you guys think?
Disclosure phase.
Yep. That's exactly right.
Can't come soon enough.
Well, it's happening. And again, I think you have to do it in a way where people can assimilate it. People that don't spend, a lot of time figuring this stuff out, they're just getting dropped in a hot boiling pot, and you got to bring that temperature up slowly, as we've said many times.
For those that aren't familiar with Perkins Coie and the whole situation, they're the ones that facilitated the Steele dossier. Basically, the Steele dossier was facilitated by Hillary and Democrats, and Perkins Coie was the law firm behind all that. So look up Steele dossier, and you'll start to understand what that's all about.
Lynn said that I hope TikTok doesn't go away again. I don't think that it will, Lynn. I think we're past that. That's not to say that they won't use it to wake people up, but I don't see it going away. Donna Parker, who's a subscriber, said, who was the lady with the purple hair in the address to Congress? Did someone actually vote on her? I'm not sure who that was. Do you guys know? Oh, man. Captain Graybeard just said a whole bunch of tiny dinies. Thanks, Captain. I don't know who that is. Maybe you guys can look it up. I'm not really sure who it was.
It's a senator, and I know exactly who you're talking about, because I did try when we were covering it. They had her on screen, and I tried to turn the camera in time to catch it, but I missed it. She's a cross between the little witch from Hansel and Gretel, but imagine her with purple hair. It's whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Rosa De Laro, I believe is how you pronounce her name.
Okay, where's she
I'm
from?
trying to see where she's out of.
Pennsylvania.
Trying to look here quick where she's from. Is it Pennsylvania?
Oh, yeah, Share Baby's here. She said that De La Rosa or something like that. Yeah, you're right, Share Baby. Donna Parker said she had purple eyeshadow.
There we go. I found her. Connecticut.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah, Connecticut, yep.
Gee, what a surprise.
She's been in that congressional district's seat since 1991.
80 Deuce Jeff, who's one of our subscribers, said she was on one of the people that were the 150 years old from the Social Security database. Her and Nancy Pelosi.
I think she was in the 180 range. That's not nice. We need to be nice, folks. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Come on, we got to have some fun too. Donna Parker said, "Dear Lord, come on." Yeah, exactly. Connecticut. Very good. Mary Kay said, I would bet she was installed years ago. You're probably right, Mary Kay. I don't know much about her. I couldn't really tell you. Hey, we just hit our live goal. Thank you, everybody. That's wonderful. Well, we're only halfway through. I guess we're going to have to set a new one. Very cool. Yeah. There you go. There it is.
Don't you love green screen? Man, that's awesome.
No kidding. All right, so we got a second live goal since we hit that first one. And thank you so much, Captain Graybeard, for all those tiny dinies. So Zero Hedge had an article yesterday that we highlighted in the Daily Dispatch this morning about the number of CEOs that have exited their position, and that the figure is larger than in the last 22 years. If I remember correctly, there was a statement on that other board about tracking CEO resignations. Interesting development, right, guys?
Not surprising.
Yeah.
Massey and Lee introduced a bill Friday, March 7th, 10:45 a.m. Massey and Lee introduced a bill to end the Fed.
Mm-hmm. It's gone. In my opinion, there's no way that's sticking around. President Trump, first, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. That passed the House last weekend. I'm sure it's going to pass the Senate, and of course, President Trump will sign it. But I think we're leading up to that. What would I call it? That tip of the spear, where the Federal Reserve and income tax is going away. I just don't see it going any other way at this point, especially when you have DOGE decreasing the expenditures of the federal government. It was a classic move when the courts came in. And again, that's another thing. At what point do the courts think that they have more power than the president of the United States? That's just ridiculous.
They don't have more. That's why 80% of the American people can't name the three branches of government.
Right.
Little lesson. What a judicial, right? Executive, right?
Legislative,
right? And those three balance each other. And there's been a lot of noise about how, Trump doesn't have the authority to stop funding that has been congressionally approved. And if you go back in time and you go back in history and you understand, that is a presidential responsibility that was removed when anybody know when they took away the ability for him to have oversight on what Congress is doing?
No, what?
Financially?
1930s?
74.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Because they didn't want the president to reverse taking us off of the gold standard, putting us onto an oil-backed dollar. Speaking of oil, Department of Energy looking at spending $20 billion to refill our strategic oil reserves that Biden depleted.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Matt Garfield, who's one of our subscribers, said, what type of tax will we transition to? Well, I think what's going to happen is the federal income tax will go away completely. And the monies that they used to rely on from income tax will be done through tariffs. And the tariffs will fund the federal government. And it's not that big of a stretch when you talk about decreasing the federal budget by $2, $3, or $4 trillion a year. So it makes sense. People that want to sell goods and services in our country, they should be paying for that opportunity and that privilege, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
Well, reciprocal tariffs is just common sense. If India is going to charge us 100% increase on the goods that we try to deliver to them, then we should put the same on anything they send here. Same thing with China. If they're going to send goods and services here, then we need to balance the playing field because, you know, how many Chevys do you see in Germany?
Right. Exactly.
Why is that?
Even Japan.
Why is that?
Well, and President
Why
Trump,
is that?
President Trump, because he's America first, he's highlighting these things for the people to see that most people had no idea was taking place. So again, it's more the exposure operation. And oh, Charlie, thank you for the glasses. It's appreciated. So Friendly Guy said George Washington. Amy said, hopefully we're seeing the corrupt judges and the people in Congress going away. Well, we are. It's happening as we speak. It's happening very slowly so people can keep up with what's going on. But I am confident that we're moving in the right direction. Friendly Guy said, open Fort Knox. Let's see the crates. I agree. And I find it interesting that there was so much narrative about Fort Knox for weeks. And all of a sudden in the last week and a half, it's crickets. I don't know what that means, but I find it.
We just got to be patient.
Right. But I'm just interested why they would pump it up so quick and then kind of, back it down.
Vicky says your country is joining Russia, Belarus, and North Korea. What the hell is wrong with you people? I need receipts. I need to understand where you're getting that information that makes you believe that we're joining North Korea, joining Russia, joining Belarus, because I don't believe that's the truth of what's really going on.
And President Trump just came out with possible sanctions against Russia if they don't end the war. So I don't. That flies in the face of what you're saying, Vicky. And again, I have no problem with people disagreeing with this. If you do it politely and kindly, like she did, let's talk about it.
Well, what the hell is wrong with you people? It's not really polite.
Well, that's probably true. We have Vicky Josie 972 saying hello from Seaverville, Tennessee. Wow, welcome, Vicky. Captain Graybeard said, sounded more like an emotional statement. Yeah, you're probably right. And one of the phrases that I use, Captain, on a regular basis is to protect your mind and control your emotions. And I think Joe Rambo uses that a lot. Boone Cutler uses that term a lot. And I think it's really important that we do that.
Someone said Trump's
See that, Alex, that Trump's live?
Where? I'm not. Where's Trump live? Where?
Yeah, let's pull him up if he is.
That's what I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Well, Friendly Guy said, why do I feel the need to play hockey right now? Well, I don't know why you feel the need to play hockey right now, but that's interesting. Hey, Painter Man. Painter Man said Fox.
You know why he said that, right? Sam?
Yeah.
Because the first 3 minutes of the hockey versus Canada fight was a freaking fist.
Okay.
Three massive fight. So the Canadian flag, Vicky saying, "What the hell's wrong with you people?" Be nice, viewers. Be nice.
Hey, Painter Man said it's on Fox. Hey, Deuce.
Site that I frequent, but we'll see what news. Let's see what we got going on here.
Yeah, so we're trying to find that right now. Everybody will bear with us here. We'll see if we can pull it up. So
Fox News Channel Live. What do we got here?
it's Choose Your Poison said it's also RAV. I'm not sure what RAV is. King's Girl 1974 said Fox has Johnson on. Hey,
Yes.
Franny Dragonfly's here. Hey, Franny, thank you for the for the gifts.
I see Speaker Johnson. Rubio meets with Botswana president.
So, Alex, while you're looking for that, let me do some house cleaning. So,
yes, sir, go ahead.
Everybody we've got a lot of new people here on TikTok today. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit follow. And if you are open to joining our subscription, we're going to be doing some private lives with subscribers. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun things over the next 30 days. hit that subscribe button as well. There's two different ways. You get the entry level, and then you have the higher level. If you're in the higher level, we'll vet you first, but you'll be able to come on the show with us if you'd like to. And we've met our first daily goal.
Call. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Get through the commercial. 1 second.
Okay, take your time.
I gotta close the other propaganda. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Come on, commercials.
That's all right. Take your time. So let me finish this. So
Yes, sir. Go
if
ahead.
you want, we've hit our first daily goal today. Thank you to all that contributed to it. We've started a second one because we're still going to be on for a while. If you
That's
can,
not it.
if you
Never
can
mind,
contribute,
false alarm.
okay. If you can contribute to our tiny daily goal, that would be great. And we're working on the second one. We're working on a record here, folks. So that would be great. And double tap that screen and share this live out. And if you're on X, YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble, give us the thumbs up. Also, too, if you're on one of the other platforms, send us a message in the chat if you have a question or just want to say hello. Thank you, Benji, 1959, for the rose. What was that, Alex?
President Trump delivers remarks at the White House Digital Asset Summit.
Isn't that today?
Yeah, he's not up yet. I'm not seeing it, so I'm still looking.
Oh, hey, Crystal's here. Thank you for the tiny dimes, Crystal. Good morning. Reagan GTX said he's on Prime Video, Fox Live.
Somebody's finally exposing her for what they did. Same thing with China, same thing with a lot of other countries. And the EU has been in terror.
Gotcha.
I think he came on live for a little bit. I found him on 3 minutes ago on NewYorkTimes.com.
Wow, Franny Dragonfly just got us halfway to our second goal. Thank you, Franny.
Thank you for the corn, guys.
Top Crop TV sent a whole bunch of gifts. Thanks, Top Crop. Glad you could make it this morning.
Morning, Top Crop.
Thank you, Franny, for all the gifts. It's truly appreciated.
Why is it so hard? Why do they make it so hard, folks, to find live?
Yeah.
Probably because they want you to. Wow, what was
Sam.
that? That's very cool.
Whoa. You just got a
Swan.
swan, sir.
Vicky Josie just sent a swan. Wow, thank you, Vicky. How sweet. Top Crop TV just sent a bunch more corn. Thank you so much. Charlie just sent a bunch of corn. Virgo 47 just said tiny dinies. Thank you so much. Oh boy, we got a couple let me get rid of this one. We got some trolls in here and they're being dealt with, everybody.
Live on Rumble, the Betty Show.
Yep, I'm looking for Benny now. RSBN is a little behind right now. Benny. Benny
Johnson's from Cedar Rapids, I believe, and he went to the University of Iowa.
Oh, he did?
That surprised me.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
lives in Florida now, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a lot of good Republicans here from Iowa that's out there.
Excellent. Franny, thank you so much for more tiny dinies. It's appreciated. Thank you, Miner, for the heart me. One of you two, there was somebody named Lucia from X. Did one of you two know her?
Lucia.
Lucia.
That's Allie's high school teacher.
Oh, because she sent me a private message and we've been correlating. She said that somebody reached out to her asking her to buy into some crazy scheme. So again, everybody, the only legitimate accounts that I have, if you go to samshalhoub.com, there's a button for each platform that I'm on that'll take you to my only legitimate account. There's only one legitimate account on TikTok. It's Sam_Shalhoub. Sam Shalhoub on X, Sam Shalhoub on Rumble, Sam Shalhoub on Facebook, and on Rumble, Sam Shalhoub. On X, it's Shalhoub Sam. But those are my only legitimate accounts. I will never reach out to you and ask you to invest in something. Just be careful.
I will call Lucia today, Sam.
Okay, yeah, I think we got it straightened out, but thank you.
The large-scale fentanyl, what?
The federal government grants would impact the labor market and weaken the labor market.
No, I think the labor market's gonna be fantastic, but it's gonna have high-paying manufacturing jobs.
I think I'm gonna back it up here. Here we go.
Release it, I wanna release it.
Genome.
Yeah, oh, well, and the second one with all of the cell phones. I wanna find the answers. I told fact, today I said, I want to fight. We can no longer blame Biden for that one. He should have released that a long time ago. So they are giving me a report next week sometime. And I do believe I'll be releasing. I want to release the report. A lot of people have asked that question. You had one who had 3 apps, 2 of which were FAR, supposedly, and who
I was
has
talking about the information on the assassins.
Pennsylvania, even though they don't live in necessarily a white area. What's that all about? His law, the law firm. The other one has 7 or 6 cell phones, and I don't have 6 cell phones. And why would somebody have 6 cell phones? So we're going to be releasing a report on that soon.
But based on what you're saying right there, the lack of information and the data points that you just gave, does that mean you think that there's some part of there's some bigger?
It could be. Well, it makes other people think that. It makes me think it a little bit too. I say, when you have 3 apps and 2 of them are foreign, and you had an FBI that wouldn't report on it, they didn't want to say why. I would say that could be suspicious. And then on the second assassin, you had, and by the way, I have to tell you, Secret Service did a great job on that by spotting him. But on the second one, he had 6 cell phones. That's a lot of cell phones.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump is live in the White House right now. Here we go.
To basically bring about modifications to the public service loan forgiveness program in order to ensure that people who are engaged in these sorts of activities can't benefit from a program that's really not intended to support them.
Thank you, Franny.
The consequences would be that they wouldn't get forgiveness of their student loans as they would be eligible for if they were working for the government or a normal nonprofit that's not violating the law.
Any questions on that? Anybody have any questions?
The pictures behind him change every time.
It's been very early, but it's pretty significant that others were much better, as you know.
Interesting.
By
Franny, thank you for the tiny dinies. You guys, we just hit our 2nd daily goal. I can't believe this.
Many companies are moving into our country. As you probably know, it's a statistic that everyone talks about, but nobody seems to have done much about.
Hey, Don, 3rd G, welcome.
There's been 90,000 plants and factories closed in this country. Think of that. 90,000 plants and factories have been closed in this country. Many of them have been car manufacturing plants. And that's a terrible statistic, and we'll be turning that around. You're going to see it already. We already have numerous that are being built or starting to be built, and numerous that were being built in other countries, and they stopped, and they're coming here now because of the tariffs. And that's a big deal. That's what you want to hear. During the last year, the Biden administration saw a loss of more than 110,000 manufacturing jobs, or 9,000 manufacturing jobs every single month. It averaged about 9,000 a month, 110,000.
Hey, James.
During the first full month in office, we've not only stopped that manufacturing collapse, but we've begun to rapidly reverse it and get major gains. We created 10,000 manufacturing jobs in February alone. That hasn't happened in a long time. And these aren't government jobs, which actually we cut. These are private sector manufacturing jobs. So we gained all of those jobs, 10,000 jobs, and we barely started yet. That's a very unusual number. People are surprised by it. I'm even a little surprised. On auto jobs, we created almost 9,000 new jobs in the auto production field. And the reason for that is largely they think things are happening, so they're already geared up. In some cases, they had rooms in their plants, empty plants that they were able to put into use quickly because they see because of the tariffs, they don't want to be dealing with other places, and they don't want to go back and forth and around and through the borders and across Mexico border and Canada border. And all. They want to have the jobs in one location. And they've had space, and if they had space, they were able to create the jobs almost immediately. In some cases, they'll be building plants to take care of those jobs. So we created 9,000 new jobs already. in the auto production, auto parts manufacturing. So we want the auto parts ideally, and I think from a simplicity standpoint, should be built and made in the United States. It's in a single month. That all took place in a single month, 9,000 new auto jobs. You haven't heard that in a long time. After auto workers lost more than 27,000 auto jobs in the final year of Biden. These are also high-paying jobs. These are very prime jobs. The ISM Manufacturing Survey and the S&P Manufacturing Survey have also confirmed that our administration is presiding over a brand new domestic manufacturing boom after major collapse under Biden. It was a collapse. All he did is keep adding new government jobs, which are not the jobs you want. We're trying to shrink government and grow the private sector.
His tie is gold.
Yes.
Years of Biden, 1 in every 4 jobs created in America was a government job. That's a tremendous percentage. But under the first 4 months of President Trump, which we haven't even gotten started yet, an incredible 93% of all job gains were in the private sector. So that statistic just came out. Big gains for native-born Americans. For the first time in 15 months, the job gains for native-born Americans, for American people born in America, exceeded job gains for migrant and foreign-born workers. This is the first time that's happened in more than 15 months. Employment for native-born workers went up by 284,000, while foreign-born workers went down by 87,000.
Excellent.
You've heard the same stat where foreign workers are taking up all the jobs, or almost all the jobs. In some cases, literally all of the jobs. And now it's 284,000 native-born jobs here, people born in our country, 284,000, while foreign-born workers went down by 87,000. First time that's happened in a long time. So these are incredible numbers, and they're very early. They've only been here for 5 weeks. But we have been talking about it since the big win in November 5th. So a lot of these people, they listen to speak and they say, well, I'm going to gear up, and they're gearing up. And so they've been gearing up. They've had a little time. It's not just 5 weeks. It's 5 weeks plus a few months. And they are, they put it into effect pretty quickly. They have confidence that what I'm saying is going to happen. So with that, I'd like to ask a highly respected gentleman, Kevin Hassett. He's been with us for a long time, and he's been right about a lot. We had the greatest economy in history in the first term, and Kevin was a big part of it. So Kevin, could you maybe give a little description, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Trump. I think that the 3 things you can emphasize during the campaign is that you wanted to create domestic, high-paying manufacturing jobs, that you wanted to end wasteful government spending and reduce the unproductive government workers, and in fact, unleash the private economy where they can be more productive, and to create jobs for Americans. A lot of people said that if you deported illegals, the employment would go down because no Americans would take those jobs. And if you look, 280,000 American-born folks were hired. Manufacturing jobs are going up. And this is just out of the expectation of your future policies, Mr. It's in April when your Reciprocal Trade Act is expected to happen. Tax cuts haven't passed yet. And so people are clearly expecting the golden age.
B. Bethany, thank you for the gifts.
Just keep in mind that President Trump has already gotten us $1.7 trillion in commitments of new factories. And those haven't even happened yet. Those are already
1.7 trillion.
That's just un-American, Sam.
Yeah. Yes, Brandon, this is President Trump live.
They're charging us over 200% for dairy products. You know about that. And when I left, we had that well taken care of. But under Biden, they just kept raising it. Very difficult to deal with the Canadian representatives. 250% for dairy products. Tariff. So where do you get that? You don't hear that. They have a tremendously high tariff. Give you the exact numbers in a little while coming out. Or lumber. So
exactly, Dave.
they have a tremendous.
I had to learn it right backwards.
Sell lumber or dairy products into Canada, but our numbers are a tiny fraction of that, almost non-existent. And what we're doing is bringing up our product from the environmental influence that they put on them. Cut down trees. And we have to cut down trees in order to build the firewall. And those.
Yes, Brandon, it's currently live.
Bring it up on an emergency basis because Canada has been ripping us off for years on tariffs for lumber and for dairy products. 250%. Nobody ever talks about that. 250% tariff, which is taking advantage of our farmers. So that's not going to happen anymore. They'll be met with the exact same tariff unless they drop it.
Thank you, Janet.
And we may do it as early as today, or we'll wait till Monday or Tuesday. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to charge the same thing. It's not fair. It never has been fair.
Yes, friendly guy. That is an interesting tie color.
It's been ripped off by everybody. That stops now. I had it stopped in my first term, and we're going to really stop it now because this has been very unfair. Our country, from an economic standpoint, a financial standpoint, and a trade standpoint, has been absolutely ripped off by almost every country in the world. Canada, Mexico, and then you just go right down the line. India charges us massive tariffs, massive. You can't even sell anything into India. It's almost restrictive. It is restrictive. We do very little business inside. They've agreed, by the way, they want to cut their tariffs way down now because somebody's finally exposing them.
Yes, Pam, it's coming.
With China, same thing with a lot of other countries. And the EU has been a terrible abuser of this country. I mean, the EU was formulated in order to take advantage of the United States. And they have taken it, but they're not taking advantage when I'm in charge. So sometimes you'll hear some negative things. It's always from outside countries. America will be very strong. And if I'm a foreign country, they're going to do fine. But they can't do like they used to do because we're going to bring back our business into this country. We need it from a job standpoint. We need it from even just a psychological standpoint. Think of it, 90,000 factories are gone since the beginning of NAFTA. So we're not going to have that, and we're going to see them build back. Now we've already had 5 major automobile companies. First time you've heard this in a long time, since my first term, actually, where we were really rocking and rolling, and then Biden came in and he stopped everything. That's such a stupid thing to do, not even a believable thing. But we have many auto plants now coming in. We have big chip plants. We're the biggest chip company in the world, most powerful company, one of the most powerful companies in the world. When you say Kevin, and he's coming in and they're building one of the largest chip plants in the world. That'll be done in Arizona, mostly in Arizona. And that'll give us a big percentage. One plant will give us a big percentage of the chip market.
Thank you, Janet.
We used to have Intel, and Intel was run by a man named Andy Grove. And Andy Grove was a tough, smart guy. I used to read about him when I was a young man, and he did an incredible job. He really dominated the chip business. And then he died, and I guess they had a series of people that didn't know what the hell they were doing, and we gradually lost the chip business, and now it's almost exclusively in Taiwan. They stole it from us. They took it from us, and I don't blame them. I give them credit. I blame the people that were sitting in the seat because they allowed it to happen. We could have protected that so easily. So
thank you, Janet.
Business, and now it's all in Taiwan. Almost exclusive, a little bit in South Korea, but mostly in Taiwan. And it's very important. Everything you do, everything you touch is now about chips. The brake of a car, the cars have chips all over the place. I was reading an article the other day where they talk about the brakes of a car are loaded up with chips.
Thank you, Pam.
But it's all about chips. So that was a big thing. And they'll be investing hundreds of billions of dollars in this country, and we'll be taking back a big, big portion of that industry. We have others coming in too. But a lot of car manufacturers are coming in, and they're coming in fast. So one of the reasons you see these numbers, and again, Kevin said it, and I said it a little bit, but the fact that they know I won the election, so after I was president-elect, they assumed that I was going to do what I said, because I do what I said. And so these numbers really reflect a lot of things that took place since November 5th. Right? So, Kevin, thank you very much. Great job. Any questions?
So I think it's time to that the large-scale federal government will also how concerned are you?
The large-scale feds and all what?
The federal government layoffs within the labor market will weaken the labor market.
Oh, No, I think the labor market's gonna be fantastic, but it's gonna have high-paying manufacturing jobs as opposed to government jobs. We had too many people in government. You can't just do that. We had many too many. This is for 40 years. You know, this isn't just now. This built up and got worse and worse, and they just hire more and more people. You look at Department of Education, it seems like so many buildings. I ride by, it says Department
And that's
of
getting the axe pretty soon.
We don't even want it. We want the education to be given by the states. It'll be much better. It'll move us to the top of the list from the bottom of the list. And actually save us money. But not, it's too important to even talk about that. It'll save us a lot of money, but we don't want that. We want education to be given. So you go to Iowa and Indiana and Idaho and all these places, they're so well run. They're going to be producing education that will be the equivalent of, like Denmark is one, and Norway, Sweden. Actually, China is one of the better in terms of education, and so we can't blame size anymore. China is 1.4 billion people, but they're very high on the list. So one thing we're doing well on, we're number one on the list, is cost per pupil. We spend more money than any other country in the world by far. So I jokingly say the one thing we do well on is the cost. We spend more money, and yet we're toward the bottom of the list. Yeah.
We're asking billions of Americans watching further this week. More that there could be a little disturbance in Americans that feel most of these taxes, these tariffs. How much disturbance are you willing to accept in the near term as opposed to that? And set expectations. How long should Americans expect things to cost a bit more?
Well, so far, Peter, there hasn't been very much because these numbers are coming out. We're here for just a little over 4 weeks. And these are fantastic numbers. I was watching some of the reports this morning. I was surprised. There could be some disturbance, a little bit of disturbance. I solved a little bit of that because I have respect for our auto companies. And I gave them a little bit of a 1 month reprieve because it was unfair. Although I'm sure they'll take advantage of it. I see they're driving a lot of cars into the U.S. to try and avoid the tariffs, taking advantage of it a little bit. But they called me, they asked me, they said, could they have a little bit of help? And I decided, they're American companies, USMCA, and I let them have that. But this really kicks in, the reciprocals, kicks in on, let's see, I guess the second. And I wanted it to be the first so badly, just didn't want to be on April Fool's Day. So I made it the second. That's going to cost a lot of money. That one day is going to cost a lot of money, but that's okay.
Thanks, Bruce.
I don't see it. I don't see anything. I see good reports. I think we're going to have good numbers from the beginning. Now, the globalists won't love this because this brings jobs back to America. So if they're coming back to America, maybe you'll lose some in other parts of the world. But the other parts of the world have done very well, and they'll continue to do very well. But I think the United States is going to be doing record business. We'll bring a lot of those 90,000 factories that have been lost over the last number of years. It's hard to believe. 90,000, think of what 90,000 is. 90,000 plants and factories have done. We're going to bring back many of those plants.
One day the tariffs are on, the next day they're off. Right now the markets, as you know well, prefer stability. Are you done going forward with the pauses and the carve outs of that?
There'll always be changes and adjustments, and you can't just. I could have, for instance, sold the American.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Pam.
And then you wouldn't have had to say, well, they're getting a little extra. It's just a little bit of a 1 month reprieve. They're very happy about what's happening. They won't have to go across borders, and you see the zigzagging. You have a fender made in Canada, you have something else made in Mexico.
Thanks, Brandon.
You want it made here. But there'll always be some modifications. I mean, if you have a wall in front of you, sometimes you have to go around the wall instead of through it. But I think very little. On occasion, if we can do something, we want to help companies, and we want to help companies create jobs. So I could have left that, and you wouldn't have had a minor change. Instead, I was asked by the real majors, the big majors.
The real majors.
Produce a lot of jobs. And numerous of the people, actually all of the people I spoke to have already been, they're very much on the way to already being there. That's why you have auto jobs increase. And the man, I don't know him, Sean Fain, I don't know him, but And I did great, as you know, with the auto workers, with Teamsters, with unions. I did fantastically well. Best numbers ever by Republicans. But, and I have a lot of respect for those people. But Sean Payne, who I don't know, but wasn't a supporter, although the auto workers were big supporters. I watched him last night, and he said Donald Trump is absolutely right on tariffs. He said what he's doing on tariffs is an incredible thing. And it's about time somebody had the guts to do it, because we're going to save auto manufacturing. And I said to people when I was campaigning, you're going to have so many auto jobs, you're not going to believe what's going to happen. We're going to load up Michigan. I won the state of Michigan, as you know. And part of the reason I won it is I got a lot of auto workers that voted for me, Detroit, etc. But I think people are going to be very surprised. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next thing since manufacturing now, a significant percentage is now in Taiwan. You also mentioned it in your address to Congress. You called on Congress to overturn the CHIPS Act, which had bipartisan support in the last Congress. Why would you like to see this particular law overturned?
Because it's hundreds of billions of dollars and it's just a waste of money. Now, some people have already taken the money and used it. Actually, it's very hard to qualify because they go by race, they go by gender, they go by all sorts of things. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. You won't be able to find those people. So I don't even think anybody can qualify. They have so many different categories in order to qualify. You have so many.
Thanks, Bob.
A certain gender, a certain this, a certain anything. I don't think they can qualify, but if they take the money, they're better qualified because they'll be watching them. But it's a tremendous waste of money. I didn't give the greatest chip company in the world, one of the greatest companies, I didn't give them 10 cents. They came here because of tariffs, because they didn't want to pay the tariffs. And they also came here because they liked the results of the election.
Gee, what a surprise. Common sense.
And pro jobs. I mean, I'm pro business, not for business sake. I'm pro business because of jobs, because business is producing a job. Yeah. Well, I believe it. I think we're doing very well with Russia. But right now they're bombing the hell out of Ukraine. I'm finding it more difficult, frankly, to deal with Ukraine. And they don't have the cards. As you know, we're meeting in Saudi Arabia on sometime next week, and we're talking. I find that in terms of getting a final settlement, it may be easier dealing with Russia, which is surprising because they have all the cards. And they're bombing the hell out of them right now. And I put a statement in, a very strong statement. Can't do that. We're trying to help them. And Ukraine has to get on the ball and get a job done. Michael, can you come up here? I see Michael back there. Good. He's traveling all over the world. I just saw him come in the door. Could you give a little definition of what's going on?
Sure. Well, the president has been crystal clear, and he's been clear to all sides. The fighting has to stop. Both sides need to get to the table. We had a good engagement. Both leaders have said only President Trump could do so, and only he has been able to do so. We had an initial engagement with the Russians. The Ukrainians had a great opportunity to bind our economies together through that mineral deal. Unfortunately, that didn't go so well. But we think we're going to get things back on track. Secretary Rubio, myself, and Ukrainian delegation will be meeting in Saudi Arabia next week to get these talks back on track, get the ceasefire in place, and drive peace home under President Trump's leadership.
I think both parties want to settle. I think if I wasn't president, this war would have had no chance of settlement, zero chance. But I think we're going to get it settled and stop. We got to stop. They're losing on average 2,000 soldiers a week. That's a lot of soldiers. Do you agree, Peter?
It's a lot of soldiers on both sides. I agree. Do you, Mr. President, think that Vladimir Putin is taking advantage of the U.S. pause right now on intelligence and military aid to Ukraine?
I actually think he's doing what anybody else would do. I think he wants to get it stopped and settled, and I think he's hitting them harder than he's been hitting them. And I think probably anybody in that position would be doing that right now. He wants to get it ended and I think Ukraine wants to get it ended, but I don't see, it's crazy. They're taking tremendous punishment. I don't quite get it, but I suspect, Michael, he probably wants to get it ended.
He does, Mr. President. The Russians are taking incredible losses on the front. As the president has said, this is a meat grinder of people, of material, of national treasure, and no one else has any solutions except to let this war continue forever. But I'll add, the president has had multiple conversations and a visit from President Macron of France, Prime Minister Starmer of the United Kingdom. We have the NATO Secretary General. We have this meeting with the Ukrainians. We've had it with the Russians. All of this in the president's first month in his leadership. We will engage in the shuttle diplomacy, and we will continue to use his leadership and what leverage we have to get both sides of the peace table. It's not going to be easy, but President Trump.
This war should have never happened. It would have never happened if I were president, but it did happen. So a lot of other things shouldn't have happened too. We shouldn't have 21 million people pouring into our country through open borders, many of whom are criminals, very bad criminals, including murderers, thousands of murders. Many killed far more than one person, and they're roaming our streets. But Tom Holman and Kristi Noem are doing an incredible job, and we're getting them out of here. And but all these things shouldn't have happened. We shouldn't have inflation. We shouldn't have had this horrible inflation where the prices have gone up. Look at eggs. So we're doing a good job.
In regards to the pause on military assistance to Ukraine, you put out on social media post today that Russia is pounding Ukraine.
That's right.
Why not provide Ukraine with air defenses? And what happens to the president when Ukraine wants
that's a good question. Because I have to know that they want to settle. I don't know that they want to settle. If they don't want to settle, we're out of there. Because we want them to settle. And I'm doing it to stop death. More important than anything else. Secondarily, way down the line is the money. So we're in for $350 billion, and Europe is in for $100 billion. They should be in for the same or more than us. And, I watched over the last week or so what's going on in Europe. This thing could end up in World War III if we don't get it settled. This could really end up in a World War III. We got to get it settled.
How confident are you that the Ukrainians will Israel on board with the?
Yeah, I saw the hostages the other day. They came in, people that were not young, some young and some older, much older. And they gave, it was hard for them to do it actually. They gave statements as to what happened. I was asking, what happened? How was it? I said, did you see anybody in there that was kind, like out of the hundreds of people that you were seeing, Hamas? Did some of them wink at you and say, don't worry, you're going to be okay, and give you a piece of bread? No. I said, were there any people that were like kind, that was slapped and punched? One man broke his ribs, he couldn't breathe for a month. It was brutal. I was so surprised. You'd think there'd be a couple of people that would be kind, that would say, you're going to be okay. But they had none of them. It's pretty amazing. Brian? He's a kind person. Although not to Zelensky, he wasn't. But to Trump, he's been good. Go ahead, Brian. Thank you.
Nice time.
Why don't you think any other European countries are offering a peace deal? It seems like no one's coming to the table for peace except for you.
Yeah. It's a very good question. Sometimes questions are unanswerable. They're in a very unusual position. They don't know how to end the war. I think I do know how to end the war. Despite the Russia hopes, I've always had a good relationship with them. And, he wants to end the war. He wants to end it. And I think he's going to be more generous than he has to be. And that's pretty good. That means a lot of good things. Because frankly, you could have made a great deal if this war never started, you could have made a great deal. I don't know that anything would have had to be given up. This was not a war that was going to start, Rob. And it didn't start. For 4 years, somebody said, well, how do we know that? Well, for 4 years, it didn't start. I used to speak to Vladimir about it. I used to speak to him about it. Like it was the apple of his eye.
Thank you. Choose your poison.
And there were going to be consequences, but it did start. I mean, think of what happened. Inflation. You have the war with Ukraine and Russia. That was what happened. October 7th would have never happened. Israel had no money. Iran had no money. Iran was stone cold broke, and now they have a lot of money. But that's going to be the next thing you'll be talking about is Iran. What's going to happen with Iran? There'll be some interesting days ahead. That's all I can tell you. You know, we'd have the final strokes with Iran. That's going to be an interesting time. And we'll see what happens. But we're down to the final moments. We're at final moments. Can't let them have a nuclear weapon. I think that I would have had to deal with it 1 month after the rigged election of 2020. They were all set to make a deal. And then when I lost, I saw this person who's a stupid person, very stupid person. And they said, let's not make a deal. They were right. He took the sanctions off. They became rich under Biden. They went from having no money to having $300 billion. All in a short period. It's oil. Oil builds up fast. It's a nice living if you have a nice oil. And they really have a lot of that. So anyway, it's going to be a big thing. It's an interesting time in the history of the world, but we have a situation with Iran that something's going to happen very soon, very, very soon. We'll be talking about that pretty soon, I guess, and hopefully we can have a peace deal. You know, I'm not speaking out of strength or weakness. I'm just saying I'd rather see a peace deal than the other, but the other will solve the problem.
Your allies are calling on you to pardon Derecho. Are you considering pardoning Derecho?
No, I haven't even heard about it. No.
Mr. President, on peace.
I haven't heard it.
In the first term, you may recall, I wrote in his that you were nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And the reason for that was the work that you led on the Abraham Accords. I spoke yesterday with the member of Parliament, the British Parliament, that nominated. And what the Nobel Committee is looking for from Mr. President is security guarantees for Ukraine. Is that a possibility, Mr. President?
So, before I even think about that,
Here it comes.
settle the war, get it finished. Because if I'm not here, nobody's going to settle it. And President Macron has said that. And everybody said that. The Prime Minister said president. We're pushing very hard. That's all I'm thinking about now. As far as the question about security later, that's the easy part. The hard part is going to get settled. We got to get them. We're losing 2,000 human beings every week. More than that, actually. 2,000 nice, young, although they're getting older because they're drafting much older. In the case of one country, much older. Because a lot of the young people have been killed. Firsthand, and I'd like to see if I could stop that. And I'd like to also see if we could stop making these massive payments from the United States. I mean, Biden gave away money like
How can anybody stand behind Ukraine with those types of loss of life is mind-blowing to me.
Alone. They get their money back, we don't. So that's how we came up with the rare earth deal. But we started, behind the 8 ball. He could have gone to Europe. He could have said, come on, you're going to put up money with us.
I think you're wrong, Norman. I think you're wrong, Mr. Noodles.
He just kept handing money out because he was grossly
Respectfully.
incompetent. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
All right, Alex. Thank you for doing that.
The most single trans.
So, we had some comments in the chat about President Trump reversing his position on Russia. This is a chess match. This is not a checkers game. This is something that we don't see what's happening behind the scenes. You have faith in President Trump and the team, or you don't. I, for one, have a lot of faith in what he's doing. And I think that how that's going to play out optically, well, your guess is as good as mine. But at the very least, I tend to believe President Trump and the team have it well in hand in terms of what they are doing or trying to do. What do you guys think?
I agree, and King Lion has made several comments through the course of this about removing globalist agenda and power and putting it back into the hands of the people. And I think that we're starting to see these things transpire. Look at what's happening in Germany with elections. Look at how your EU countries are like these immigration policies are destroying our country. I saw inside of what building was it? A building over in Europe where the Islamist whatever was playing. Like it's just like we got to have some normalcy. We've got to have some discernment. We've got to have some critical thinking, and above all, transparency. And in 47 days of being in a position that he's in, the transparency is off the frickin' charts, people. These peeling back the covers and the cockroaches are frickin' scattering, right?
Right.
So give him some time to do what he needs to do, get the transparency in place, get the right deals in place. And he said it. He's like, the oil, the gold, the money, like, turn on the spigots and watch what happens. That's how Iran was able to get from broke to, prospering again. And where was Iran before?
And look at what President Trump is doing with the oil specifically. The cost of oil has gone down significantly. We're going to be seeing it at the pumps soon. He's caused OPEC Plus to produce more oil. We are producing more oil here now. It takes time for these types of things to take place. It is like a cruise ship. It's moving. When you change the direction, it takes miles for that to happen. We're at what, 47 days, Alex? Yeah. I mean, my God, I don't know what people expect, but I, for one, am glad to see it. So, all right, guys, so let's wrap it up for the day. Let's get some final thoughts in there, Dave.
Yep, nope, just excited to see what happens. He talked about Iran, and he goes, you will see soon how we'll deal with them.
Yes, that was very telling.
Yeah, and Alex was talking about transparency. Had we seen in the 47 days that Trump said, if you add that all up, we hadn't seen that much in 4 years with the last administration. So you got to realize that he's showing us everything they're doing, if they can, and show us the direction he's pointing. So excited, ready to go.
Completely agree. Alex?
Trump has met with the media and answered questions more times in 47 days than the previous administration did in 4 years. What about that is not transparent, political, and diplomatic, and having the conversations? We know what's going on. We know where his head's at. We know what he's thinking about. We know what his objectives are. We know where he stands. So, be patient, use common sense, use discernment, look for receipts. I don't care what side you're on, right, left, it doesn't matter. We got to unite, find the receipts, because math doesn't lie, folks. With that, be blessed. Have a great day. Sam, Dave, thank you. Appreciate you guys and all the viewers and people that tune in and say hello, and the gifts. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Yeah, I agree with both you guys. And everybody out there, just remember, it takes time. We're 47 days in. We are seeing more transparency from this administration than we have in the last 5 administrations. So just stay the course. Know that we're moving in the right direction. And as time goes on, we will all be pleased with where we are going to wind up. So thanks, you guys. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Keep an eye out. We may be going live again today. We'll see. But in the meantime, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks, guys.